Certainly the weeds have had fun here.
It may not appear like it, but Richard Mulcahy is from one of Ireland's most illustrious families. An entrepreneur, he has created a string of successful businesses. But now, he's going to leave his comfortable lifestyle behind him. Richard is going to go undercover in one of the roughest areas of Limerick. He will live alone, and for 8 days, he'll fend for himself on the minimum wage. Richard will be secretly searching for people whom he might be able to help.
Why did you move out?
I moved out because my house was attacked.
I am absolutely gobsmacked at the condition that people are living in here.
By the end of his stay, he will give away thousands of euro of his own money and only then reveal himself as the secret millionaire.
Oh my God!
I think a lot of us think that we really can't make much difference. Actually, when you see in the communities people who have nothing, it makes me realise we all can make huge changes. It's just really a matter of us deciding to get up and do it.
Richard Mulcahy wants to leave behind a legacy. He has made lots of money over the years, and now he wants to give something back.
I've been very lucky that I've made money through my life. It's never been a very important part of my life. The important part of my life has been spending time with people. I don't have any kids, so I try and do my best to help other people when I can. It makes me happy if I can make other people happy, and that's what I would really like to try and focus on and what years I have left in my life.
A passionate environmentalist, he recently planted 120,000 trees on his 170-acre Wicklow farm where he lives with his partner Olga.
They're not going to be mature before I die, but I think it'd be a very nice thing to leave for other people to appreciate in the years to come.
For Richard, his family name is very important.
There was a lot of history attached to the family name. Even as a kid, you'd sense that there was obviously the name stood for something.
His grandfather, General Richard Mulcahy, was Minister for Defence in the first Irish Free State government. He was a controversial commander of the pro-treaty forces in the Civil War and later became leader of Fine Gael in the 1940s.
So this is my granddad here with Michael Collins. I have great memories of him. As kids, we used to chase each other around the garden with his old revolvers and things like that.
My striking impression of him is that he has some of the characteristics of my own father. Modest, but a very definite interest in society and the welfare of society.
Despite the family history, Richard didn't follow his grandfather into the army or politics. Instead, he discovered he had other talents.
I started making money at the age of 12. I used to go down to the shop in Sanford Road when I was at Gonzaga and buy penny ice pops and come up and sell them for 2p. And I just seemed to have the knack of knowing what people want.
After dropping out of college, Richard began his first business in his late teens, running discos and selling CB radios.
It was frowned upon a bit, particularly when my, two other brothers, they both went and did medicine, and I was the one on the outside making, in business, and at the time, that didn't seem to fit in with the education and the background I came from.
He has a flair for establishing innovative IT companies. His pharmaceutical software was developed and sold to Boots for over 20 million euro. His current venture, Smart Builder, looks set to follow a similar path.
He gets on extremely well with people from every walk of life, every background, and treats everyone the same.
My philosophy in life is that you can't take your money with you. I'm very happy now to be able to give some of it away and leave a legacy in the family name.
But now Richard is about to leave behind his comfortable lifestyle and take on a challenge that could change his life forever.
I suppose today's the day that it's all going to happen. I'm a bit nervous about it, but also it's an adventure, and I've always loved adventures.
Nobody will know Richard is a millionaire as he secretly searches for people whom he might just be able to help. For the next 8 days, Richard will be living in Limerick City, His cover is that he is an amateur actor and is presenting a documentary called Generations.
Going undercover sort of brings me back to my childhood in the James Bond era. I suppose it's like anything else once you get into it. You know, at the end of the day, what you really want to do is to get information out of people. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I'm up for it. I went to college in Limerick, actually, in the mid-70s. A number of girls got pregnant in the first semester, as they called it. And I decided to introduce condoms into the Students' Union shop. And the Legion of Mary heard about that I had put condoms in, as they would do, because they were very attuned to what was going on in the college. And they reported me to the authorities in the college, and I was summoned before them and told that my type wasn't needed around there, so I took that as a hint to leave.
Limerick, despite its rich history and sporting successes, has struggled with an image problem in the last 10 years. Gang warfare turned many areas into a battlefield, and Limerick was dubbed the murder capital of Ireland. Much has improved, though in some areas, change is slow.
Can you tell me where High Street is?
See the red stop sign?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Continue on through onto the next street and turn right up William Street.
Okay. Home. I was pleasantly surprised when I came into the apartment. I live a simple life anyway, so you know, everything seems to be here apart from being able to look out. It feels it's safe and clean, and that's the important thing.
Richard's first step is to research local community groups.
I have a particular interest in the elderly. I think they've been ignored over the last years. Nowadays, the families just don't have time to have them around, or it's inconvenient, so they've been pushed aside. So it's something that I've always been interested in seeing, you know, if there's anything I can do to help them.
That evening, Richard goes out into the city to get a sense of how it has changed since he lived there in the 1970s. The reality is very different to what he remembers. In Ballinacurra Weston, he notices that many of the homes are boarded up. Very soon, he finds out why. That first night, Richard is shocked by life on this estate. He wonders how people cope.
Judging from what we saw tonight, it seems to be a regular occurrence in the area, which is, I was talking to a bunch of kids there, and I get the sense that the reason it's done is just to get copper from the houses. You know, they make some money out of it. Now, how much do you get for the copper?
Depends how much you're getting.
When you consider there's so many empty houses there and that they all have electric wires in them, it just must be a huge temptation for kids if there's nothing better to be doing. You know, and we saw a couple of police cars going by and it still happens. So, you know, police in the street doesn't seem to do anything. But I feel sorry for all the older people and the ordinary families who are living there trying to get on with their lives, and they have to put up with this. One thing for sure is that Limerick is not a quiet city.
Richard Mulcahy is a wealthy entrepreneur. he is living undercover in Limerick City on a secret search for people to help. When he finds them, he will give away tens of thousands of euro of his own money and only then reveal himself as the Secret Millionaire. The next day, Richard is back on the streets. Troubled by last night's fire, Richard goes back to Ballinacurra Weston. There he meets Paddy, a local man, who tells him about life in the community and the problems they face.
And where did you live now?
I lived in that corner house over there
Okay.
for 59 wonderful years.
Kuwait. Why did you move out?
I moved out because my house was attacked. When I say attacked, was windows were broken on a few occasions, and I found it difficult to keep replacing them.
Were other people forced to move out of their houses?
There was an old lady living in that house. She was 90 years of age, and the house was next door was burning, so the local authority got frightened and moved out.
The problems of violence and antisocial behaviour on the estate led to significant investment and intervention in the area. A regeneration programme was established, relocated families and demolished houses.
This really opens up your eyes. I am absolutely gobsmacked at the condition that people are living in here. I just cannot believe that we as a society are treating people like this.
Despite the problems with housing, Paddy explains that there are positives at a local level. He tells Richard about the community centre that serves the estate. He drops in to see what they do.
So you're going to give me a tour?
Leanne, a qualified solicitor from nearby Weston, was recently appointed CEO of the centre.
So what you have here is the main community centre. Everything that we do here is really heavily based on volunteers as well as the staff. We've the cafe, the Meals and Wheels, and we have the school lunches.
Can anyone drop in from any estate?
Anybody can drop in anywhere, but the parish is there's nearly 5,000 people in the local area, and that's the parish that we serve.
And would it be general working class area, the area?
It would be, and I suppose there are areas here, like there would be high unemployment, and it would be, I suppose, certain areas would have always maybe struggled with unemployment issues. But I think now in our current climate, it's the whole parish we're struggling. You know, there's a recession and it's difficult for everybody. So I think local services like ours are being used more and more.
Thanks to Leanne, the centre is fast becoming the hub for many community activities. Richard is impressed by how much is going on.
Will the two of you just stand over at that section because you come down this side?
In the sports hall next door, local woman Debbie is training the kids for the community games.
It's kids that want to do something. They don't want to hang around corners. They want somewhere to go, something to do.
Any games, any type of sport?
Any type of sport. If it's dancing, creativity, swimming, football, rugby, hurling, camogie,
So you do
there's
the
a
lot.
list.
Now I should go 1, 2, 3. Now look, you 1, 2, 3.
So where do you hope to end up?
I hope to end up abroad, and I want to become a dance teacher.
In the kitchen, Richard offers to help Rita prepare the meals on wheels.
Rita, I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
I'm an expert at chopping mushrooms. Do you think that Limerick have an unfair reputation?
Very unfair, yeah. But any place else, no matter what happens anywhere else, it's, you know, it's low key, but if it happens in Limerick,
In Limerick, it's amazing.
Sky News.
For the elderly of Ballinacurra Weston, the Meals on Wheels is a vital service, and the chat is as much appreciated as the food.
Do you look forward to getting the meals every day from them?
What?
Do you like getting the meals from them every day?
Yes, yeah.
And tell me something, why do you get your dinner delivered? Why don't you come over to the centre?
I used to go over, but I've all arthritis in my knee.
And is it difficult for you to get over?
I never thought I'd walk to go.
Right.
Wait till the way they clear up now, I'll get some old fellas to take me over.
Are there any old fellas around?
Well, they're no good for Martin anyhow, you know.
Are they?
Ger, living on his own since the death of his wife and son, appreciates the service more than most.
Hiya, Ger. Have you time for a quick chat?
Yes, come in.
So how long have you been living here in the area?
About 50 years, and that's my son, Gary.
Very good-looking fella, he is.
Well, he was a fine big man.
Yeah.
And he was 34 when he died.
Right.
He gave in over his mother. He broke his heart. He was found dead down the street. There was a month between the two of them for 2 funerals, like, you know.
1 month?
1 month.
He died 1 month after. That must have broken your heart completely.
Oh, I thought we were going to die.
Did that make you go into yourself a bit then, that you're...
Well, it made me... Well, I go out the weekend, all right, like, you know.
Right.
I like a few pints.
So you'd go out to the pub for a pint?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
And that's it then.
Yeah.
Saturday, tomorrow now, and Sunday.
Yeah.
That's my lot then for the week.
I noticed your garden wasn't done recently.
No.
Do you get any help with that?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
If you think back to the 50s and the 60s, do you think times are more difficult now?
Indeed they are.
Yeah.
And they're completely changed because the youth is growing up now, they have no respect for anybody.
Did you feel it when you were young?
Well, I got my windows and all broken here, like, you know.
Did you?
I did for nothing.
Yeah. Right.
I don't do anything to anybody. I'm a quiet guy, like, you know.
Did you know who did it?
No.
Moved by his story, Richard offers to clean up Jer's garden.
I was thinking about how many old people are sort of trapped in their homes, and it's probably a very nice thing for them to get out and go down for lunch and, you know, every now and then make contact with people. You know, if the centre could get them down and back, it would be certainly an opportunity for them to be a little less lonely.
On his way home, Richard bumps into Debbie and her husband, Billy. He learns how they became involved in community work.
What got you guys into this in the first place?
I suppose we were foster carers. We got married in 2000 and...
You're foster carers as well?
Yeah, we were relative foster carers.
We got 4 kids to us and there didn't seem to be anything around the area.
How many kids are in the area?
There's roughly between 50 to 150 children within the area. We wanted to give them a positive outlook on life because they were very talented in sports and in creativity and drama and dance and stuff like that. Kids around here have an awful lot of talent.
Was there ever any concern about kids getting involved in crime or anything?
Oh, there was.
yeah.
Sure, every area has it, like, do you know what I mean? So we just... My main thing was to try and keep them out of trouble. A lot of kids, like, if you keep them active the whole time, like, they keep out of trouble.
They had a sense of belonging because there's a lot of good kids in the community, but just need a steering to go down the right road, that's all.
And when you were young, did you get sucked in at all to crime in the area?
I was, as a young fella.
And how did you get sucked into it, really?
I kind of done it myself. It was kind of my own fault. But looking back now, that's why I want to try and do what I'm doing in the area, is to try and help the kids. Because I know firsthand what it's actually like.
The thing that impressed me most, Jay, was the amount of people who actually do voluntary work. Just like the couple today, Debbie and Billy. It's all voluntary, on sports for the kids, keep them off the streets. And what's very apparent is in a community where they've very little, there is this desire and need to look after each other and pull together and protect each other, because the system has ruled, I believe, so much against the working class people that the only way they can survive is pulling together. And I think you see this, that they're putting their arms around each, holding each other, protecting each other, because nobody else is going to protect them. We're far too isolated in the middle class. We have lost the sense of community. It's all Mayfain. It's how can I better my lifestyle. You just don't know what's happening on the street until you go out like today. It's taken me totally by surprise. I'm available anytime, so the address here is 404.
The next day, Richard tracks down a local charity that he read about in a Limerick paper. Brendan Ring and his wife Terry began a foundation in 2008 after losing their daughter Cliona to a brain tumour.
Tell me how you got into the idea of setting up a foundation for Cliona.
Well, it's our experience of going in out of hospitals, and we realised, that there was a huge expense, particularly when you had to go in there on a continual basis. There's guys out there, families that need financial assistance to be able to go to hospitals on a regular basis, and and pay for the simple things like the parking and the newspaper and lunch and trains and so many other things. And in January 2008, we said we'd form the Cliona Ring Foundation.
Tell me the story about Cliona.
When she was 7, she was in school and she walked into a blackboard. Her GP sent us to Limerick, and in Limerick they did an MRI scan. And there it was diagnosed that there was a mass there, suspected brain tumour. The tumour was inoperable, but she had chemotherapy treatment in Crumlin. When she had one of her last MRIs, the tumour had changed and they needed to do a biopsy on that, which showed it had become quite aggressive. They had to operate because if they allowed it to grow, she would have become horribly disabled. So needless to say, we didn't want that either. So they said they would go, and maybe if they only got part of it, it would help her. She went for surgery. Well, unfortunately, she didn't come through that. No. And she died the following December, on the 2nd of December.
So, obviously from that traumatic experience, your foundation has been...
Yeah. In the last 4 years, the foundation has helped over 80 families.
What would be a typical amount now that you would try and help somebody out with?
Right now, it's between €2,000 and €3,000.
Right.
Before that, we managed to give quite a bit more than that, which meant a lot to families. But unfortunately, due to the circumstances that we all have, we've had to cut back on that.
And for how they use that money, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. The understanding being that it's used for non-medical expenses, purely for day-to-day expenses, costs, travel, pyjamas.
And there's some of the letters from some of the parents. You can have a look through there, yeah.
It's wonderful to think that there are organisations like that where there's no red tape. You literally could be able to get a couple of thousand in a very short space of time that could make a huge difference and bring, even a moment's more happiness. It's just, it's amazing. So you have to give great credit for Terry and Brendan for what they're doing.
Later, Richard meets Paddy from the estate again. A retired soldier, he is a member of the organisation of National Ex-Servicemen. With his own army connections, Richard is curious about their work.
Tell me a bit about the organisation, Joe.
Well, originally the organisation was formed to house homeless ex-servicemen who, for one reason or another, had fallen on hard times.
Surely the men who represented this country in the army would have had support once they retired from the army itself, or the state.
Well, if they had their time done, but you had those who fell through the cracks, and they fell on bad times.
And how many ex-servicemen are in hard times in this area, Joe, as a matter of interest?
You would have 30, I suppose. Yeah.
Across the square, they visit the building they're hoping to renovate.
What was your idea with the building?
Be a drop-in centre where members and servant members would drop in, and we'd have tea and a boat going all the time.
So it's a community centre really for ex-army, for ex-servicemen. Well, will we have a look at the building inside?
We can. Okay. We have no key. The corporation have the key.
All right, OK.
They gave it to us and took it back again.
Put it away. I'd love to help those guys. Obviously, because of my grandfather's link, I had an affinity, some sort of connection with the guys, and I felt comfortable talking to them. Let's go get the key. What's holding this up?
Red tape, basically.
Nobody since my grandfather has gone into the army in the family. Yet, we all are very organised, and we certainly have inherited the genes of our grandfather in that way of, you see something, you know how to go about it instinctively, you know what the steps are. Go for the jugular now.
We'll do that now from tomorrow. I'll get on to...
Monday morning,
Monday morning. The corporation.
Monday morning.
I want the key.
That's a plan.
I want the key, yeah.
All right, good man.
That evening, Richard is shocked by the number of homeless people in the city centre.
Are
you trying to cut down on it?
This man here will keep me away from it. How long was you? 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, I was off it for 2.5 years.
Are you still off it?
Yeah.
Listen, lads, look after yourselves, OK? Is it not? Where is it normally? Where do they normally have it? Over there. In my travels around Limerick City, I noticed quite a lot of homeless people I was talking to on there. In the conversation, he mentioned there was a soup run a couple of nights a week, so I might check that out. There seem to be quite a lot of people who avail of it. Look after yourself. I'm just going to go up to the mud. See you in a couple of minutes when the soup comes, OK?
At 7 o'clock, Sinead and Annette arrive.
Sinead, this is Richard. Yeah. How are you?
Hi, Richard. Nice to meet you.
And you're?
Annette.
Annette,
Hi,
how are
Richard.
you?
How are you?
So what are you guys doing?
Basically, we provide food to homeless people in Limerick City 5 nights a week. So that's what we're doing now.
Great. Can I help you?
And of course, I have a thing.
With absolutely no funding, they depend on leftover food donated from a local hotel.
So how many guys are you going to feed tonight?
Well, tonight is a quite busy night. We would have 20 meals.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In or around, yeah. Who wants tea or coffee or soup?
What kind of soup?
What kind of soup? Good question. Chicken?
Okay, chicken.
People just arrive along over the next day. They know you're here for the hour.
That's it.
Right.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Dinner.
So the girls look after you, do they?
Are you going to have a dinner?
No.
Are you sure?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
No biscuits left, yeah?
I hid a couple of biscuits.
I think you're fond of the biscuits, I see. Do you?
Did you get them already?
Bit of a sweet tooth.
That's all that was there.
So can you get extra things like that, you know, if you know the lads?
We do.
Just depends on what's available.
I'm there to see.
Right.
But we usually have a biscuit for someone who has a sweet tooth and doesn't kind of eat very well.
Yeah.
But on occasion we would be asked, do we have insures, just to build up your strength if you're underweight. You'll see quite a few that can't really eat and they'll look for those, but unfortunately they're expensive.
Yeah.
But a lot of them would use them.
Yeah. And would a lot of them be underweight now and everything like that?
The girls especially, so you'd worry about them.
Yeah, absolutely. You were beaten up on the streets, were you?
Yeah.
And how long were you in hospital for?
5 years.
Does that happen very often?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very dangerous for
Really?
people. A lot of people are staying in squats, or some people are sleeping out rough, but for the most part it's in empty houses.
Isn't it great that the girls, you know, the support you get from the girls, you know?
Well, I was actually just saying there that I work in Mulcahy House, a homeless hostel in the centre, and we actually have a vacancy, so I'm going to make a phone call
you're going to try and get them in.
Sort it out. Hi, Bernie,
that's very manageable. A roof over your head.
I'm just here on the soup run. And I'm
Sinead rings the hostel where she works to see if there's a bed available.
Send Nigel up to you now, though. Brilliant. Okay. Excellent. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Your coffee?
Yeah, Bernie's on above, and she said to head up to her now.
Angels, I think, would be the way to describe the two of you guys. It's nice to meet you. Look after yourself, OK? It's inspiring just to stand with those girls there and see what they do every night, 5 nights a week. They do all of that themselves. They're not paid by anybody. They have jobs during the daytime. It's inspiring just to see that, you know, ordinary people will get up there and do something.
Next morning at breakfast, Richard is feeling angry about what he has seen over the last few days.
I was just thinking about my grandfather and the men that fought in 1916 and fought for independence in this country. They would turn in their graves to see the way we have destroyed this country. They would be gobsmacked. They wouldn't want to be in this country. You know, I just fear that we can only get worse.
Richard goes to meet a family who received help from the Cliona Ring Foundation. David, a full-time carer, looks after their daughter Sarah, who suffers from a rare condition called Alpers syndrome, while his wife goes out to work.
David.
Hi, Richard. Welcome.
How are you?
Come in.
Thank you very much.
This is Richard. Say hello to Richard.
Hello, Sarah. How are you? What's that in your hand? Did you have that for your Holy Communion?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
What she has is a terminal illness. Kids with it don't go beyond 10 years of age. And most of them die within 12 months to 2 years. You just have to kind of put it at the back of your mind and just get on with life, you know, and just make her as happy as you can, and, you know.
Tell me about the Cliona Ring Foundation.
Well,
how did you hear about them?
Terry made a donation to us, and it enabled us to put down these rubber mats. So I mean, she could go out and play, and if she fell over,
she'd be okay.
She was safe,
yeah.
like, you know.
Then again, they went through the same.
They have
thing
went
as you
through it,
have,
yeah. And
so they know how you're feeling and the
yeah,
issues
there is an understanding there, and that's why it's different, like, because I think it seems more personal thing that, you know, that they actually care about who they're helping, like, you know. And when families are in situations like this, you know, it's hard, you know, and for someone just to come in and say, look, here's something, this will help you a little, you know. It won't make your daughter better, but it'll help her. It'll give her a better quality of life, you know. And that is amazing, like, you know, I mean, it's fantastic that someone can do that, you know. In a situation like this, you know, sometimes you feel, you know, you're on your own, and it's nice for someone, you know, just to come forward and do something nice, you know.
She seems to have a great fun there.
No, she loves the bouncy castle. She loves it. She could sit there for the day if I went in with her. Really.
There must be times you get very upset, is it?
You get times when you're down, and, you know, then you realise you can't be down. You have to be strong for her. You have to, you know, you have to be. No point in me being down and depressed. Like, I mean, I have to look after Sarah, like, you know, and you just have to get up and get on with it. You know. But I mean, she is wonderful. I mean, I couldn't, you know. I mean, I wish she wasn't sick, like, but I mean, I'm glad I know her, like, you know, I'm glad she's my child, you know. So I'm proud of her, you know. I mean, you can have all the money in the world, and if you can't make your kids happy or keep them safe, money's no good to you, you know. So it's just life, isn't it? No, she's a gift. Will I go in and sit down with you, will I? No. No, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't know how people have the strength. I saw him lying there with Sarah and knowing that he knows she's going to die, you know, cuddled up to him. When you have moments like that, nothing material matters. Nothing.
Entrepreneur Richard Mulcahy has been living undercover in Limerick for almost a week. His cover is that he is an amateur actor presenting a series on how life has changed in Ireland. In truth, he is looking for people he can help by donating tens of thousands of euro of his own money. It's Monday and Richard has positive news. The city manager and deputy mayor have arrived with the key to the building where the ex-servicemen plan on having their drop-in centre.
Well, I'm delighted to be here tonight, and I'm delighted the city manager's here to present the keys to the president of ONE. And I know that, given the experience you've built up in the Defence Forces over the year, no better people to do it than ONE.
Thanks very much. It must be a proud moment for all of you.
And we look forward to seeing how you'll get on here, and if we can be of further assistance, we'll certainly be available to be called upon.
And your door is always open.
But it is. Good word.
Fine words.
The council have offered to help with some of the renovations. However, more will be needed if the centre is ever to open. Impressed by the efforts of Leanne in Ballinacurra Weston, Richard returns to the centre. He wants to help, but can't see exactly how. Today, he needs to find out more to help him make his decision.
They're at the top of the country, but I suppose in my experience of
Leanne talks about her struggles with funding and how the centre couldn't survive without volunteers like Billy and Debbie.
There's plenty of people on the ground and there's plenty of residents.
Out on the pitch, Billy is training the football team while Debbie chats to Richard about their problems with transport.
How do you move them around, the kids and everything?
Well, it's volunteers from parents.
Right, yeah.
You might have 4 cars.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going outside, we hire a bus.
Right.
That's where most of our expenses is. We have to hire buses. We need a bus. We need a bus for transport for community games. We need a bus for transport for the elderly. We need a bus for transport for the local clubs. If you go to South Hill, they have 2 buses. You go to Myross, they have 3 buses.
Right.
Our Lady of Lourdes have no bus. And we've been trying to get funding for a bus through all the umbrella groups, you know, all the agencies
How
together.
much would it cost for a bus?
Oh, God, you're talking about 500-600 euros.
No, but I mean to buy a bus.
Oh, to buy a bus, you're talking about 30,000-40,000.
Right.
You know, and like, we're only a small organisation,
Yeah.
but there's no money there. That's
Well,
the main problem.
The only thing is, the way that Billy and yourself go about things, I've no doubt you'll get there.
Oh, we'll eventually.
Yeah.
Like, you see them kids out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fantastic kids.
It's a busy evening in the centre. As well as the young people training, it's bingo night, a popular outing for the elderly.
So they look forward to this. It's obviously a great night.
And we have a night planned for Bunratty, the bar night on the 9th of June.
A bar night? You mean a drinking session, is it?
Well, they do. A few of them drink. They do.
How does everyone get to Bunratty?
Well, we have to hire a bus.
Right.
And there's about 26 of us going. And
Right.
then they have it's the Irish night there.
All
so
right.
there's the entertainment and we say the meal and the entertainment.
Okay.
That's
a lovely- that's a
it's all
lovely
in the flat.
idea,
They
yeah.
don't have to. We should take them away for a day, but it's not feasible really. It's
Why?
too long. Some of them aren't great walking
Right,
and things like
okay.
that.
5959 8181 on its own number 3.
Tell me something, why are there no men here? How do you feel about me being here?
We love it.
Now, how do you guys get in every night? You walk up, do you? You're great. And what time is it finished at?
10 o'clock.
One of the things that, though, surprised me was seeing how many of them turned up in taxis. You know, for a community centre, you'd expect them to... I would have thought the community would have organised to collect them in a bus or something like that. And would you come here every week now?
Yeah, every Tuesday, unless I was sick now
Right.
and the weather was bad.
Yeah.
But they really do need transport.
Do they?
They do,
Yeah.
It's not easy.
83 83 38 38 72 72.
It's the end of his stay in Limerick. It's been a tiring week, and now he has some difficult decisions to make. Tomorrow, Richard will give away thousands of euro of his own money.
I found, obviously, listening to a lot of stories, you know, how frustrated people's lives are and the conditions they live in. It's made me very frustrated and angry about the way, you know, as a society we treat people less well off. And it certainly can get you angry at times. I suppose the positive thing that's come out of it is the groundswell of people volunteering, and that's what's amazed me. You know, even in the very poor areas, you have people who are in there, you know, helping out. I've been really impressed with Leanne and what she's done with the Our Lady of Lourdes Centre. She really is pulling everything together amazingly well, and you know, it gives you hope for the future. If only some of our politicians could adopt the, you know, approach of these people, now we might have a much better country.
It's Richard's last day in Limerick. The time has come to decide where to donate his money and reveal his true identity. He has come up with a plan that he thinks will have a real impact on the community of Ballinacurra Weston.
always thank my lucky stars that I've been, from the background I've come from, the education I've had and the friends I've had and everything like that. And when you see what's going on here, it makes you realise even more how lucky you are. When I set off, I really wanted to see if I could make a difference. You know, I've been very lucky with my life and with business, and I wanted to try and give something back. When I was told I was coming to Limerick, I had this concept in my head, very violent, that people didn't give a damn about each other. And you know, I was completely wrong. I went into the community and these people look after each other. And you know, I look at things differently from Limerick from now on.
Richard is returning to the charities in the guise of saying goodbye. In reality, he is about to donate thousands of euro that he hopes will make a difference to some of the people he has met this week.
Well, it's been a long journey, and I don't know now when I reveal my cards how I'm going to react to it, so I'm just going to go with it and see what happens.
His first call is to the girls who work with the homeless, Sinead and Annette.
Hello, how are you, Richard?
How are you, Sinead?
Nice to see you.
Hi, Annette.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you again. Stand.
Well, all I want to say is you guys are brilliant. There are very few people who would do what you would do. And I have to say to you that I haven't been completely honest with you guys and what I've been up to. I'm in a position to be able to help you guys out in a small little way. And I wanted to give you guys something for your soup run for the year.
What? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Richard, thank you so much. Oh, this is amazing. Oh God. Oh my God, you're unreal. Thank you so much. Oh my God, we really struggled with this. We had no funding for so long. Thank you. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. It's going to be caviar on the soup run from here on in. Thank you so much, Richard.
This is going to make a big difference.
It was all so basic for so long. Like, we were delighted with our development where we were getting hot dinners. Up to then, it was just, we were lucky to just have plain corned beef sandwiches, and the lads appreciated it.
To an extent.
I think now we'll be able to have something a little nicer than that, for sure.
It's wonderful.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
You've enough now on your plate without having to struggle, so hopefully that'll get you through the year if you don't have anything.
Oh my God, thanks.
Wonderful.
Right. So listen, I'm sure you've got lots of things to be doing getting out there, so you should be very proud of yourselves.
Thanks very much.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Look after yourselves.
Hopefully now with this money, we should be able to go to 7 nights instead of 5. Provide the service every night, you know. Oh.
I saw 2 incredible girls who were fighting for money, and you know, I can give them enough money to keep them going for a year. I'm not going to cure homelessness in Limerick, but hopefully people who see this will be inspired to help them along, and not just here, but in every town in Ireland.
For the next charity, Richard feels it is not with his money that he can be of most use. He has another plan.
Brendan, how
Richard,
are you?
nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
And how are you keeping?
Good, thank you.
Richard, how are you?
Good to see you. I haven't been telling you the complete truth about me.
Okay.
My real name is Richard Mulcahy. I've spent my life taking small businesses and building them up, turning them into bigger businesses.
Right.
One of the things I saw when I was here with you guys was the wonderful, absolutely amazing job you've done. And I see, you know, the foundation you set up for your daughter is just magnificent.
Right.
But what you need to do is to go to the next step.
Yeah.
And I would like to offer my time to help you bring, you know, this organisation nationally. And you're at a point where you need to move now. You have to take it big. I think you guys, you know, you need a lot of money, and I think I can help you much better in that way, bring in a lot of money to the organisation. I'd like to offer my service to do that for you.
We'd be delighted.
Thanks.
You're a great man.
No, you're great.
Thank you.
And you've really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
No, we really need that.
Yeah, I think you do, and I think I can help you.
We're thrilled.
It's fantastic.
You know, we can't believe it, because actually that's what we've been looking for. We were actually looking for somebody out there to promote the foundation and to bring funding in some way to us to help us, because it's getting difficult.
Oh, your prayers have been answered.
Thank you, Cliona. Something like that never occurred to me might happen, but I did feel that we can't allow the charity to fizzle out because we see the benefits that families gain from it. I just feel this is an answer to everything. It really is.
Yeah.
The Cliona Ring Foundation is a wonderful foundation. It's amazing, meeting that little girl, Sarah, and the difference a bit of money could make. I mean, that organisation is going to need hundreds of thousands. I'm not in a position to help them in that way, but I can help them with my time and my experience, and that's, what I would like to do. I thought when I was coming out here that I had to have a separate identity, that it was going to be actually quite difficult. But you realise actually your identity is not important at all. I suppose the only area was the soldiers that I met, so it'll be interesting to see how they react to me. I'm afraid I wasn't truthful with you. My name is Richard Mulcahy. That
You're
means
Dick Mulcahy.
That rings a bell. My grandfather was Dick Mulcahy. Very happy to have been down here in Limerick, and I was very happy to meet you guys. And I want to make a small contribution to your drop-in centre. I think it's a very worthy thing that you're doing. And I think it's great to remember the people in the army. I'd like to present you with a little cheque, Mr. President.
And that's lovely, yeah. Paddy?
Thank you, John. Thanks very much, John.
And that over to Jerry.
I shouldn't have done that at all.
That's the last we'll see of that. I have no doubt that you'll get it going, and it'll be a great success.
Yeah.
The people will benefit. And I hope it's a small contribution to helping you getting your way. It has a special meaning for me to meet you guys.
Richard, thanks, man. We appreciate it. We really do.
Not at all.
Well, I was surprised, but I knew there was something that I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Because we were talking about Michael Collins the other night, and he knew a bit too much about Michael Collins,
His final gift is to a community that has challenged all his prejudices, and a resource that he hopes will help people of all ages in this embattled estate.
I wanted to say something to you. I haven't been quite honest with you. Richard Mulcahy is my full name.
Okay.
We're not here to shoot a programme about generations.
Okay.
We're here because I have something for you. Because I think you're absolutely wonderful.
That's for us?
That's for you.
Oh my God!
That's for you.
Thank you. Thank you, God. Look at that. Oh my God, I didn't want to ask you. I thought you were an unemployed actor that was trying to get a job at RTE. But can I look inside?
Of course you can.
See what we're after getting.
This is Leanne.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Wow. I'm in shock.
Anyway, you deserve it.
You're an awful man.
Around the corner in the estate, there is one last visit to be made.
How are you?
He's been lying to us.
Is he? Why is he lying to us?
He's a secret millionaire.
And this is what we have for the community.
A bus?
A bus! Oh, Richard Laffin! A bus!
Yes.
Oh, Richard!
Thanks very, very
Thank
much.
you very much.
That's brilliant. Thanks.
Oh, my God.
It's brilliant.
Oh, Bill, look at the ring, Joel.
Oh, that's
Oh,
brilliant.
my God.
That is
outstanding.
That is
Outstanding for us.
It's what the community really, really needed. I can't believe.
I'm in shock. I am totally and utterly in shock.
I've tried for 10 years.
And that bus
try and
will
get a
never
bus.
be parked. I'm shocked. I'm speechless, and it's not often I can't talk.
We'll never be at home now.
Never.
Oh, it is.
And there's no senior citizen, no youth, no child going to be sitting lonely at home. We're so grateful. You don't know how grateful we are.
Richard, you haven't a clue.
How grateful we are. That bus is going to travel the country. And the elderly people are going to have one good social life.
I thought coming down here that, I might be able to empower people. But when I see the community in Our Lady of Lourdes, they are empowered. They're out there fighting, and, you have to give them great credit for that. I may be able to just congratulate them and say, look, you're doing a great job, but at the end of the day, they're very motivated themselves anyway. I've met some wonderful people. Certainly I will look back on this for years. I think a lot of us think that we really can't make much difference, giving a couple of quid here and there, but actually when you see in the communities people who have nothing, the changes they can make, it makes me realise we all can make huge changes. It's just really a matter of us deciding to get up and do it.
Next week, an organic food businessman uproots and heads to Waterford and finds many struggling with the after effects of losing their jobs in Secret Millionaire at 9:35 next Monday night. But next tonight, The Frontline. More on that in just a moment.